You know, it's kind of funny because every Flyers fan has been saying how much this team needs to overhaul their defense. And what they've basically done is get two guys that together basically equal Kimmo Timonen. They got a 30-year-old defenseman in Ryan Ellis from the Predators, and they got Rasmus Ristolainen, who, like Kimmo Timonen, is from
Finland!
Hey guys, I'm going to be doing just a reaction, giving my thoughts on the recent offseason moves that the Flyers have been doing the last week. Obviously, we know what the big move today was, trading away our first-round pick this year, along with Robert Haig, and our second-round pick in 2023 for Rasmus Ristolainen from the Buffalo Sabres. I'll get to that shortly, but I want to start with our acquisition of Ryan Ellis last week. I really think this is a good move because based on who we gave up, Phil Myers and Nolan Patrick, in my opinion, those guys didn't really have much of a future with this team. Nolan Patrick, I feel like, needed a change of scenery. He was, at best, a third-line center for us. I feel like and he really had no upward trajectory with the Flyers, in my opinion. And I don't see, like, he was ever going to reach his potential with the Flyers. So there's really no point of keeping him at this point. And Phil Myers is still really young, really green, really raw. And he might eventually turn into something, but I really don't think he's going to turn into a caliber of a player as a Ryan Ellis. And now, Ryan Ellis is a player that's been in the league for a long time, 10 years at this point, all in Nashville. And yeah, he's been overshadowed by some of his teammates, such as Roman Josi. But in my opinion, he's a sturdy, consistent, established player that should really help this blue line. And any Flyers fan has been saying since the offseason began, we need to overhaul this defense because that defense last year was absolutely ungodly atrocious. That defense brought down the entire team. I'm not saying it's Philly's 2020 and 2021 bullpens level of atrocious where it's brought down the team, but that defense was so bad that Carter Hart started to lose confidence too. And what we need to do is seriously address this defense. And I feel like Ryan Ellis at first is going to help. Now Rasmus Ristolainen, getting to the Rasmus Ristolainen trade. In my opinion, we did give up too much to get him. You don't really want to give up a lot of draft capital for a guy he's never really played for a good team before. He's played for the Sabres for the last 5 or 6 years. He's 26 now. He'll be 27 when the season gets going. So he's entering his prime. And while the draft capital that we gave up was a lot, this draft is not apparently that deep with talent. And once you draft someone, it takes them about a year or two to even get to the show anyway. Now, when I've watched the Flyers play the Sabres this year, Rasmus Ristolainen has been one of the only players on their team that's really stood out to me as impressed me. And I know, he's not perfect, and you're expecting him to be a first pairing guy. I feel like that's a little bit too much. But I feel like if you put Rasmus Ristolainen on the second pairing with a guy like Travis Sanheim, he can really flourish. So I can see a situation where it's Ivan Provorov and Ryan Ellis on the first line, Sanheim and Rasmus Ristolainen on the second line, and then you can throw Justin Braun and hell, maybe even Cam York or Igor Samula can make the team out of training camp, and they can at least start their career on the third line before maybe they eventually come up. So I really do like these trades. And the thing about Rasmus Ristolainen, he's very energetic. He's got a high motor. He's up in the tops of the league nearly every year in hits. He's got an edge to his game. And I'm not one of those Flyers fans where it's we got to get back to the Broad Street Bullies days. We got to hit people. We got to stop playing like a bunch of pussies. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that having a guy on this team that is tough and is willing to throw the body around can change the outlook of a team. You know what I mean? Because the only real guys on this team that do that consistently are Nick Aubé-Kubel and Scott Laughton. And I feel like Rasmus Ristolainen is going to be a really good addition to this team. Yeah, he's not perfect, and he's not going to be first pairing, hopefully, but I feel like at least for this year, this is a upgrade defensively because we need to make a change. We can't just try out the same awful defense that we had last year. We had to change it up. And I feel like adding Ryan Ellis and Rasmus Ristolainen to this defensive core will help. I'm hoping, because I don't want to deal with another awful defense as awful as we had last year. So those are my thoughts on the trade, and both the trades, both the Ryan Ellis trade and the Rasmus Ristolainen trade. Hopefully both these trades pan out when the season starts.